The first thing the girl did after returning from death was to go and stick stickers with the irritable school bully, and greedily suck the smell from his body. Other classmates were shocked. Is this girl not afraid of death, daring to treat the school bully like a cat to pet? Just as the girl left the classroom, the dozing school bully woke up with a shy and blushing face. What are you looking at? Get lost, all of you. The girl was actually the malicious supporting character in the novel. She was switched at birth in the hospital. It wasn't until she was 15 that her birth family found her, but by then, there was already the beloved female lead, Zhao Yuan, at home. She missed out on the good fortune of being the female lead, even though she made sincere efforts to please her family. She was still considered a scheming woman who wanted to steal affection, and suffered from neglect and favoritism. She died of cancer at the age of 23. But fortunately was chosen by the female supporting role system. After her rebirth, she can change the tragic ending of her previous life by using inner energy. Mingxi, who doesn't want to die, has no choice but to accept it. The next moment, she's back in high school. Touching the burn on her face, she finds it unbelievable. At this point, the system popped up to tell her that although she had been reborn, her luck value was still negative. In order to change her fate, she needed to absorb someone else's luck. So, it gave her a pot of luck plant. The more air luck you can get for free. Zhao Mingxi looked at the sparse potted plants in confusion. How much air luck grass does it take to change the fate of death? The system says not much. Maybe just 500. Just 500 trees. It will take a long time to pick that many. Luckily, the system gave her a list of personnel. But the tragedy is, those with high returns are influential figures in the international class that are not to be trifled with. But she couldn't care less about that. Just last week, her grades were good, so according to the school's regulations, she's free to transfer to another class. Mingxi plans to break into the international class first, then seize the opportunity to hold on to the thigh. So she eagerly submitted the transfer application. Ready, she packed up her luggage, determined to move out of this cold home. Meanwhile, the little brother was outside the door, yelling for her to apologize to Zhao Yuan. It turns out that everyone thought the lead actress being admitted to the hospital due to an allergy was definitely related to her, but why should she apologize for something she didn't do? Watching Zhao Mingxi dragging the suitcase, her younger brother thought she was running away again, and said reproachfully, "Is this little thing worth it?" Mingxi gave him a fierce look. "Yes. Everything about me is trivial." After going downstairs, she completely ignored the few people who pretended to understand. Dragging her luggage, she walked straight out of the gate, and her mother not only did not try to keep her, instead she scolded her for not knowing what's good for her. At that moment, Mingxi made up her mind that she would never waste her time on them again. Soon it was the next day. Everyone thought that Zhao Mingxi would transfer to the excellent performance class. After all, it was well known that she had the school's heartthrob. Some students even joked about it. Platoon leader is about to be in the same class as Zhao Mingxi. What do you think about it? While Shen Liao casually distanced himself. Choosing which class to go to is her right. It's none of my business. However, when passing by the honor class, Mingxi couldn't even be bothered to look at it, and went straight to the international class. Different from the honor class, most of the students in the international class come from prominent families. At first, the class was very lively. No one noticed her, the new transfer student, but just as she arrived at the door, she suddenly felt dizzy and disoriented. Is it the precursor of a terminal illness, she wondered in her heart? The system told her. Why not? These are all foreshadowing left by the author, aren't they? But it's really worthy of an international class. Everyone has a light spot representing their fortune. At this moment, Mingxi suddenly noticed the brightest light spot. After 0.1 millisecond of contemplation, she quickly walked to that person's side, and didn't care much about anything else. He took a deep breath in his direction. Immediately, he felt the dizziness starting to ease. The energy flow of the potted plant caused the first sprout to emerge. Before there was time to celebrate, he noticed that his classmates were no longer calm. They all looked at her in surprise. Oh my God, am I seeing things? She took a drag from Shiji like he's a cat. She turned around belatedly. I carefully looked at my desk mate who was sound asleep. Shiga. Is he the school bully Fu Yangxi, who has the highest return rate? Suddenly, the monitor came over to ask about the situation. I found out that she was a transfer student. Her shocked expression reminded her That is the Fu family's young master. Nobody has ever dared to sit in that seat. But Zhao Mingxi calmly surveyed this arrogant classmate, thinking that if she could be bullied by him, help him run errands, it's hard to say. Luck can turn around quickly. Then, calmly, took out the stationery. There's no other place. I'll just sit here for now. As soon as these words were spoken, the classroom instantly erupted, and soon awakened the sleeping school bully. He impatiently rubbed his forehead. Emanating a strong aura of hostility, the students instantly fell silent. He fumbled and took a bottle of medicine from his pocket. Zhao Mingxi's eyes lit up. This is a good opportunity. Quickly help pour some water. The school bully took the medicine naturally. Suddenly he realized something was wrong. Who is this girl? Why is she sitting here? Mingxi gave a sweet smile. I started to introduce myself to him. My name is Zhao Mingxi. I just transferred from the regular class. The class immediately exploded with excitement. Working hard day and night, I managed to get into the top 5, just to transfer to the other class and come all the way to chat with Brother Shi, pure and true love. The school bully blushed. Proudly asked her to move quickly. No one sits around with the young master. Zhao Mingxi sprawled on the table and acted coquettishly. I didn't know. Leaving doesn't mean taking my life, does it? Hearing this, the school bully's face turned even redder. What did you say? Oops. How did I blurt out my inner thoughts? Fu Yangxi was in a rage. She ordered her lackey to quickly move her things out. At that moment, the head teacher stormed in angrily, slammed the newspaper on the table. Fu Yangxi, look at the trouble you've caused. The school strictly prohibits students from riding motorcycles, but you dared to lead a group to participate in an off-road race. And he didn't care at all, jokingly mocking the teacher. What era is it, and you're still reading newspapers? The head teacher instantly gets angry. Make him run 30 laps outside. Otherwise, call his parents. The school bully put away his smile and frowned, just about to say something, but was interrupted by Zhao Mingxi. Teacher, can I run for him? Fu Yangxi is a little confused. Why did this girl help me? Hearing this, the teacher became even angrier. Fine, you go. Don't come back if you can't finish the run. Without saying a word, Zhao Mingxi rushed out. I can get 3 Qiyun grasses in 30 laps. Is this a profitable blood-earning move? Little Huangmao behind him was also shocked. Shiga, where did you provoke this girl? She's absolutely crazy about you. Hearing this, the school bully starts to feel proud. Blaming my own irresistible charm, little punk was left speechless. But having a girl run circles for me, wouldn't that be embarrassing for me? So I sent my little brother to do it. I'll be back to report shortly. Shiji. She wouldn't let me leave, and it seems like she's enjoying herself, running and laughing. The campus bully who's been single since birth is creating scenarios in his mind. Does this girl really like me so much? It seems that my charm is truly irresistible. Before he could admire her for 3 seconds, he received a call from his good friend Jiang Xiuqiu. He was showing off the troubles of being pursued by girls, but never thought the person on the phone would mock him. What does she like about you? Likes your bad temper and not liking to take showers? Or likes that you have labor insurance? It's nothing more than coming for the money. Fu Yangxi angrily hung up the phone. If you can't speak, just shut your mouth. But this school bully's love-struck mind has finally started to calm down and think rationally. Oh, forget it. Let's send her off as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Zhao Mingxi, who just finished running a lap, is panting heavily. After drinking 8 bottles of water, she finally recovered. The system reminded her to quickly check the potted plant. Wow, there are exactly 3 trees. And the scars on her face have also faded a lot. At this moment, she also remembered how she used to want to please her family. Even if I shielded my brother from the hot soup, letting it splash onto my own face, it didn't earn me even a bit of concern from my family. Instead, they all crowded around Zhao Yuan, who was only hit by a drop on the leg, and I missed the best time for treatment because of it. The system told her that all this is related to her luck. And as long as she absorbs more luck, she can reverse the situation and get rid of her bad luck. She immediately became excited. It looks like I'll have to work harder to latch on to the coattails of the top dog. If it weren't for taking the fall for him, I'm afraid I would have been thrown out by him already. What should I do next? I've got it. This move is definitely going to bring a lot of good luck. To please the school bully, she even brought a handmade cat poop cake for him. But as soon as she entered the classroom, everyone's gaze towards her was like they were looking at a warrior carrying explosives to blow up a fort. Countless strange looks made her feel at a loss. Could it be that the school bully threw his own books? She didn't relax until she saw her survived textbook. This was when she breathed a sigh of relief. Then she was coldly stopped by the school bully, but her eyes were only surrounded by the aura around the school bully. So she couldn't help approaching and took a breath. Seeing Gao Mingxi approaching, a bully's moment of embarrassment, turning red from the face to the ears, he indignantly questioned her. What the hell do you want to do? Then arrogantly expressed. Thanks for running 30 laps for me. I won't hold it against you for sitting next to me this morning without permission, but it doesn't mean I can tolerate you sitting next to me again. Zhao Mingxi thought. How can I absorb some luck without sitting next to you? So he pitifully expressed. There's nowhere else to sit in the classroom except next to you. Little did the school bully fall for her trick. That's your problem. None of my business. Xiao Huamao saw the situation and called his little brother over to move her table away. Zhao Mingxi immediately held onto the table tightly. No, I want to sit here. The two little brothers exerted all their strength, but still couldn't pull it away from her. Suddenly she remembered she had a life-saving weapon. Then he raised the small cat feces cake he brought, and respectfully handed it to the school bully. Can I sit here with 2 pieces of cake? I can make more if you want in the future. Fu Yangxi took the cat feces cake and gave it a disgusted look. I've eaten all kinds of delicacies, but I still find your dish appealing. Then get slapped in the face the next second. Dang. Smells amazing. It seems she is more attentive than any pursuer. She even knows I love sweet things. Indeed, my charm is inexhaustible. The enticing aroma made the little yellow fur ball behind me cry from longing. Such a fragrant cake. Shiga, let's switch. Since she gave me a piece of cake, she can sit next to me. Fu Yangxi glared at him and told him to roll. Then she turned to Xiaoko and reluctantly said, I'll take this first. But only allowed to sit next to me for an afternoon. I don't want to see you here tomorrow. Zhao Mingxi seized the opportunity to negotiate. 2 cakes for an afternoon. That won't do. I have to add me as a friend again. As soon as this was said, the whole class exploded. Daring to ask the school bully for contact information. This girl is definitely a warrior. Fu Yangxi blushed and wanted to refuse, but could not resist the persistent pursuit of the small mask, held up the phone to his face. After a moment, Zhao Mingxi, who wanted to exchange contact information, was excited. The school bully handed her another black card. This is the payment for running errands for me. Mingxi took the bank card with great joy. I won't refuse a freebie. Maybe I can also get some good luck from this. Who would have thought the school bully is even happier than me, so happy with just a little benefit. Indeed, she still likes the young master, then couldn't help but show off to her friends. She really isn't here for the money. The happiness on her face looks genuine. Moreover, she dresses so plainly. She doesn't look like a materialistic woman at all, but her good friend Jiang Ziyaki jokes. You're really beautiful, with people pursuing you. I've never seen anyone pursue you since childhood. He retorted angrily. You're just jealous of me. It was almost time to get out of school. Fu Yangxi woke up. The seat next to him is already empty. He couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. Seriously? Can he still pursue someone properly? At this moment, his phone displayed a bunch of expenditure reminders. After seeing the news, he was so angry that he nearly bit off his back teeth. He never expected that in just a few short moments, he would have maxed out his own credit card. Yet he still couldn't believe it, staring at the phone for hours. Even till late night, there was no message from Little Mask. This materialistic girl doesn't even say a word of thanks after spending money, even if it's for the money. You can't just ignore your sugar daddy like that. Just then, the phone suddenly rings. With excitement, he shakes his hand. The phone suddenly slips and hits his face. At the same time, in the girl's dormitory, Zhao Mingxi carefully gives her. The school bully sent the first message, telling him to just block himself. But unexpectedly, a short sentence made her air-cultivating seedling, Ayu instantly grow into a half-sprout. Then she tried to say goodnight. But this time, the little sprout only grew a little bit. The system told her that doing the same thing within a day would result in a weaker effect each time. Mingxi suddenly realized. No wonder she had tried to breathe in the afternoon, but couldn't do it well. And she didn't know if the length of the text would affect the effect. So she randomly typed in the chat box. Then she sent a long string of garbled messages. The grass of air luck only grew 1/8 this time. It seems that only the first 3 lines every day can make the air luck potted plant grow. and the growth speed is not related to the length of the text. So, in the future, 3 messages a day will be enough for him. Suddenly the phone rings. It turns out to be Mingxi's best friend Xiaoyang. She excitedly tells Mingxi that her crush Xunli Yao is coming to her house tonight. It turns out that during the day, she stepped in for the school bully to do the punishment run for the international class, and it has already caused a sensation in the school. Even the fans of the pink-haired and green tea girl find it unbelievable. Could it be that she really stopped pursuing Xunli Yao and started pursuing the school bully? While her little brother has always believed that she did it on purpose to vent her anger, Xiao Balian is still sulking. Mingxi really has a childish temper. I don't blame her for the thing that caused my allergies, but she can't leave home in a huff because of this. Then he continued tentatively asking his younger brother, Yuning, you are closest to her. Why don't you go and talk to her? If that doesn't work out, I will tell everyone. It has nothing to do with her that I have allergies, Zhao Yuning said impatiently. Sis, what's it to do with you? Love her to come back. It's not the first time she's run away from home anyway. She didn't even take her clothes. She definitely won't be able to stay at school for long. In a few days she'll come back on her own. Fanfa and Green Tea also started gossiping. Speaking of which, even if she's chasing the school bully, it's not to provoke Shirley Yao. He's so ugly and wears a mask every day. Xinyao wouldn't be interested in her. Zhao Yuning, who was already irritable, I instantly got furious when I heard this. What nonsense is Xiaocha talking about? Maybe he should take a look at himself first. This really scared the pink-haired Xiaocha. Quick, apologize. Sorry. Xiao Zilian is still consoling her. What she said is not untrue. But please don't say it like that next time. After all, she didn't see the face Mingxi had when she first came to the Zhao family. With delicate features, even she felt a sense of crisis. But fortunately, because of the burn a year ago, she was no longer as beautiful. At this time, Mingxi also arrived at the cafeteria. Xiao Yuning hesitated whether to apologize first. So he mustered up the courage and greeted her proactively. Mingxi. But Mingxi passed by him without even blinking. Zhao Yuning, who was ignored, stiffened in place, and for a moment he felt somewhat at a loss. Zhao Mingxi knows that in her previous life, she cared too much about these people, so in the end, she became the scheming woman they spoke of, who went to great lengths to snatch love and affection. It wasn't until her good friend, Xiaoyang, arrived, she felt a little better. When discussing Zhao Yuan's allergy, Xiaoyang thought it was probably a self-directed act by the little white lotus. Mingxi, however, felt it might have been the doing of pink-haired Green Tea. Xiaoyang was somewhat surprised. In order to protect Zhao Yuan, right? Is it for Xunli Yao? I'm just guessing. After all, the surveillance can't find anything. Xiaoyang is instantly annoyed. She must be jealous of you and Xunli Yao only made the doll engagement promise because of this, Mingxi says. Forget it. I don't feel like explaining to those people. Then I couldn't help but pinch Xuyang's puffy little face and comfort her that I have moved out anyway. In the future, I will completely draw a clear line with the Zhaos. Their conversation was interrupted by someone not far away. Xunli Yao is listening half-heartedly. It seems that Zhao Mingxi took the blame for Xiaoxia. Because of Zhao Yuan's allergy, she had a fight with her family and moved to the school. She transferred to the international class, and threatened to pursue the school bully. Because he's jealous of you and Xiaxia. Xunli Yao also thought his analysis made sense. But who is Xiaxia? His sidekick reminded him. The pink-haired girl who handed you the water on the basketball court last Friday. Zhao Mingxi was right there at the time. So it was her. She stuffed the water into my hand and ran off. And I didn't even drink any before passing it to you, so she might not have seen what came after. And then clashed with Xiaoxia again. Which made her go to the international class out of anger. You definitely should do something to keep her hooked, Yaoshin. What if she really doesn't chase after us in the future? In fact, he just wants to continue eating Zhao Mingxi's cat poop cake. After hearing these words, Xunli Yao's face also became more and more ugly. In the evening, Dao's mother was still blaming Mingxi for being immature, always running away from home at the drop of a hat, although she said so. The house felt much quieter, and she was also somewhat uncomfortable with it, so she started asking Zhao Yuning, "Did you see your sister at school today? When is she planning to come back?" Zhao Yuning recalled the embarrassing scene in the daytime, and decisively told her that she didn't see her. Moreover, I didn't drive the person away. Don't ask me about this in the future. He can't figure it out. Is Mingxi really that angry? He even wants to draw a clear line with his family, so he decided to send a message over to ask. After hesitating for a while, The information was finally sent out. However, the phone prompted that he was no longer on the other person's friends list. Even the calls were blocked by the other person. He felt a little lost and uneasy. At this moment, Shun Liao came home. Wawakan. He rarely comes around. He came this time specifically for Mingxi's matter. He explained to Mrs. Zhao that Mingxi was falsely accused of causing Yuan's allergies. This statement surprised several people. Mingxi, who was about to take a rest, suddenly received a call from her eldest brother. Mingxi, eldest brother knows that we blamed you for Zhao Yuan's allergy incident, but you shouldn't leave home just because you're feeling wrong. Look at how angry Mom has become. Mingxi, who was awakened by the noise, couldn't be bothered to listen to his nonsense. After hanging up the phone, she just blocked and deleted everything in one go. After dealing with this one that got away, her world became peaceful. On the other side, Big Brother and Mom are still blaming her for being unreasonable, even though Yuanyuan's allergy wasn't her fault. She shouldn't ignore our Yuanyuan just because she's throwing a tantrum, and not show any concern. Hearing them say this, even Zhao Yuning is starting to feel unfair for Mingxi. It's clearly not her fault. Not only did she suspect her from the beginning, even now that she has explained everything clearly, her mom is still blaming her for being thoughtless. What if everyone treated themselves so unfairly in the future? How should one deal with it? But Zhao Mingxi cannot care so much about this. What matters most to her when starting over is to change her own fate. So the next morning, bright and early, she sent 3 ellipses in a row to the school bully. Thinking to herself, it's been so long and still no response. Looks like he really did block me. But it doesn't matter. She just needs to complete the clock-in task every day to bump into luck. While the Tsundra school bully on the other side adheres to the absolute principle of being a cold male god, will not reply to the first 3 messages. After waiting all night, I finally received Mingxi's message in the morning. He looked at those 3 ellipses with a mournful expression. After receiving a bunch of garbled messages from this person yesterday evening, and 3 ellipses today. So he began to search for the meaning of 3 ellipses. He didn't expect the answer to make him blush, and his heart race. He Lai Wanghua. It's my secret. He even doubted whether his ears were playing tricks on him. This transfer student is really direct, isn't he? Before class, Mingxi struggled to pick up a big box of stuff and brought it into the classroom. She even brought the little poop cake that the school bully loves so much. But as soon as she entered the classroom, she found her desk had been moved to the back. She thought the school bully was just bluffing yesterday. I can't believe he's so stingy. I even specially prepared dessert for him. Just then, little Huang Mao walked in yawning. Seeing the cat poop cake instantly perked him up. Shiga, you won't catch up anyway. Why don't you eat this? I'll take care of your chores for the semester. Just thinking about the stingy look on the school bully's face, it's better to feed it to a dog than to give it to him, so she casually handed the cake to the blondie. I'll leave the task of erasing the blackboard to you in the future. However, Zio Wangmio is not satisfied. Bring me another one tomorrow. I'll give you Shiga's address. The system told her. Knowing the address won't help the potted plants grow. Unless you can go to his house to play. Just think about it. The school bully won't allow anyone to enter his house, so she turned and left. Thank you, no need. Upon returning to her seat, Mingxi began to contemplate. Since it's so difficult to deal with the school bully killer, maybe I should just find someone with a lower payback rate to hang out with. At that moment, the classroom suddenly fell silent. The school bully walked in with a displeased expression on his face. He stole a glance at the little mask in the corner, and began to imagine that she's so thin. Could it be that her family is too poor? So it seems understandable to get close to me for money. When I got to Zio Wangmio, he suddenly stopped. What are you eating so early in the morning? But when I saw the cat poop cake in his hand, I instantly exploded. The gold digger was still chasing after me yesterday. She was confessing her love in the morning. But now she's giving desserts to someone else. He angrily grabs the young man. Did you give her money? What did you say to her? Xiao Huangmao clutched his head in terror. I asked her if she wanted your address. The school bully let go of him, annoyed and unwilling to speak. The red hair on the top feels green. Angrily, he moved the box to the side. He turned his head and questioned Xiao Huangmao. Is this yours? He hurriedly denied. A transfer student called early this morning. Maybe it's a gift for you. The school bully looks disdainful. What can a country bumpkin give? A box of potatoes? When the box was opened, he froze for a moment. It was filled with carefully selected gifts. There was even an ergonomic chair. Little Huang Mao was still marveling at it. Indeed, girls are meticulous. Fu Yanxi tried hard to suppress the gradually rising corners of his mouth. Proud expression. What kind of nonsense is this? In the blink of an eye, Xiao Wangniu had already assembled the school chair. Just about to sit down and try, I was grabbed by the school bully and thrown 2 meters away. Then he sat on it himself. Although it's no different from a regular chair. But I still like it very much. So it was this little mask that spent all the money on me. It seems that she wants to be my deskmate after all. On the other side, sure enough, as Zhao Mingxi expected, after the school bully opened the gift, 2 more seedlings sprouted. Currently, she has counted the 7 seedlings more than 80 times. She smiled with a hint of despair. At this speed, when will I be able to capture 500 trees? It looks like I have to figure out a way to catch some more luck. Fu Yanxi visualizes a class. I thought the little mask would definitely be ecstatic to give herself a gift. Only to find out that she had moved and misplaced her things in the corner. Now she must be both sad and upset. So he was clearly exhausted to death, but he couldn't help but look back, peeking from time to time. Even the school forum exploded for a while. Episode shocked. For the first time in 3 years, Fu's young prince attended a class without falling asleep and stared at the transfer student for an entire class. Finally, when it was time for lunch break, he turned around and found that the seat of the little mask was empty. Then he questioned the little blondie. Where is the transfer student? Xiao Huangmao explained. She might have gone to the regular class to find her friends. Then, he casually asked Xiao Huangmao to go find out the news for him. For example, her friends' preferences and so on. Basically, every little detail, the more detailed the better. Holy moly. It's the first time in so many years that I've seen Shiji care this much. Shiji. So you're trying to hit on her? You wish, brat. Fu Yanxi gave him a fierce headbutt. Who knows if she's a spy sent by the other side? What if they catch on to something and seize my assets? Xiao Huangmao thought for a moment and said, It seems to make sense. I'll go find out. As he was about to leave, he suddenly stopped and remembered something. Oh right, Shiji, there is something I'm not sure if I should say. Fu Yanxi can't be bothered to deal with him. Just let it out if you have something to say, Xiao Huangmao playfully reminds. Brother Shi, your book fell down. School bully gets angry. He threw the book in his hand and was greeted with a headbutt. Mingxi asked Xiaoyang to help return the notes she borrowed before to Xin Liao. I was planning to write a note to thank him, explaining for CCE. But if you think about it, maybe he was just helping out. So let it go. Besides, I don't want much to do with him for the rest of my life. I don't want to become love-struck like in my past life. Noon, Xiaoyang hurriedly returned Mingxi's notes. Xin Liao is very strange. How could it be with you? Mingxi has finished using it and lent it to me. Can't you return it now? Xin Liao was both puzzled and disappointed. Why is she different from before? Not revolving around me anymore. The sidekick witnessed this scene and secretly ran to tell him that it's been said that Zhao Mingxi bought a lot of good things for the school bully. Do you think she's trying to provoke you? To make you go and find her? The school hunk looks indifferent. I don't like her anyway. Then why bother looking for her? Although I say that, I still feel a little upset inside. Meanwhile, the school bully is not doing well either. He has been waiting for Little Mask for a whole afternoon. And it's already this late, but she still hasn't come back. As for Xiao Mingxi, just happened to run into my absent-minded little brother on the way. Thought he was going to get caught for skipping class. Sure enough, he received a lecture from Zhao Mingxi, but she actually ignored him again. This made Zhao Yuning a little flustered. You can ignore me, but do you not care that she hangs out with delinquents? So I decisively stepped forward to stop her. Sis, when will you ever calm down? We're all family. There's no need to get angry over these little things. She suddenly stopped. These little things. Right, my matters are all trivial. I'm not sulking. I just don't intend to go back in the future. Little brother looks tense. What do you mean by saying this? Without me, you'll be fine without me. I will repay the money I borrowed from the Zhao family in the last 2 years, so please don't bother me anymore. My little brother just couldn't hold it in. We finally managed to find you. Don't contact me in the future. Forget it. Although my brother is stupid, he's not a bad person. I've said everything I needed to say. Could you please deliver my message to the Zhao family? Watching Zhao Mingxi's distant figure, I never thought she would truly leave this family completely. Little White Lotus saw everything that just happened. Gloatingly approaches and asks his younger brother, "What were you guys just saying?" Zhao Yuning was about to speak, but then was afraid of escalating the conflict. "Forget it, nothing." Zhao Yuan grabbed him. "Is there a secret that my sister can know?" Zhao Yuning withdrew his hand irritably, and said, "There's nothing, don't ask anymore, it's so annoying. I never expected everyone to defend their little brother. Now, I'm annoyed for Zhao Mingxi and she thinks she's annoying." She stood there, stunned and incredulous. Zhao Mingxi has no idea what bad luck he's run into today. Just as he reached the top of the stairs, he encountered the campus belle and Shin Liao from the next door. When Mingxi saw them approaching, the campus belle quickly clung to Shin Liao. But to her surprise, he forcefully pushed her away, afraid of being misunderstood by Mingxi passing by. But Mingxi is too lazy to bother with them, just wanting to leave here quickly. Only to be stopped by Shin Liao after a few steps. She could only smile awkwardly without being impolite, but the schoolgrass said seriously to her, "Don't let Xiaoyang send notes again next time. It turns out it's because of this," he found out. "I won't need to borrow from you in the future." "I didn't expect the school hunk to say in a huff. "Who else can you borrow from if not me? Are you going to borrow from Fu Yanxi?" "What? Why did the school bully come up? Did he ever write a word during his 3 years of high school?" Then he handed Mingxi an application form for the By Schools League. "Have it filled out by Saturday." Mingxi took the form, although feeling that he wouldn't be selected, but still want to give it a try. When turning to leave, the campus male god proposed to give her tutoring on the weekend. Mingxi was very puzzled. Did this person take the wrong medicine today? Continued to resolutely reject. "Thank you? No need." Upon hearing this, the campus heartthrob's face turned very ugly. "As you wish. It's better if he doesn't come. I'm also very busy." The class bully kept staring at the two of them, until the blonde-haired boy reminded him to stop staring. "Everyone has come in." He quickly put on his headphones as if nothing had happened. He hastily grabbed a book to cover himself, but his gaze remained fixed on the mass that was getting closer and closer. Yet Mingxi was just passing by. "I didn't expect her to not come and find me all day." Fu Yangxi instantly got angry, threw the book, turned her head and interrogated Xiao Wangniu. "Who was the person you were just talking to from the transfer class? Former friend?" Xiao Huangmao awkwardly didn't know how to explain. "Is the widely known school gossip boyfriend considered a friend? But if I tell him that you were just a tool to make the school hunk jealous, he must not blow up the school tomorrow." So Xiao Wangniu consciously avoided this topic. "Speaking of it, Shiga, why don't you just have someone move the table back, so you won't have to keep twisting your neck to see her every day? My cervical spine is about to suffer later." Fu Yangxi turned around in embarrassment, and gave him a heavy punch again. "She wants to seduce me. Where did you see that I'm about to suffer from cervical spondylosis? She didn't come to bother me all morning. Master's sleep quality has improved." "Ah, yes, you're right about that." Then he arrogantly sulks. Little Yellow Hair continues to flatter him. "They're all new students and don't know any better, and they still want to play cat and mouse with you." When the school bully heard this, he immediately became displeased. Angrily, he asked him, "What are you saying?" Then steal a glance at Xiao Kouzhao. With a pitiful expression, I said, "It was me who threw away her desk early this morning. Her sadness is understandable." Don't be too suspicious of Xiao Kouzhao's intentions. Xiao Huangmao really stumped him. "Okay, it's all my fault. Everyone else is thinking about making money, but this girl is studying every day how to grow grass." At this time, the system reminded her, if there is physical contact with someone on the list, you can absorb more luck. So Zhao Mingxi began to fantasize. If you can embrace the school bully with the highest return rate, plus 10 luck or get close to him. I may have died at the hands of a school bully at the age of 17. Then she patted herself. What am I thinking about? Maybe I can just gently touch him first. That way I probably won't get hit. Looks like I have to figure out a way to sit next to him. At this moment, the head teacher saw her looking distressed. She thought the student was having a hard time adjusting to the new class, so she kindly asked the student to come to her office after class, intending to find out more about the situation. Saw Shioko wearing a mask being called away by the teacher. The school bully became anxious in an instant, told Xiao Wangnyo to immediately follow and see what the situation was. Reluctantly, the lackey Xiao Wangnyo stood up. You care so much, why don't you go yourself? Inside the office, the form teacher asked Zhao Mingxi affectionately. If there was anything she had trouble adjusting to after transferring to a new class, Zhao Mingxi thought to herself, this is a good opportunity to move back. So, with a pitiful look, he said to the teacher, I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable, mainly because I'm too far from the blackboard. There's a seat next to Fu Yangxi. It would be even better if I could move there. Little Huang Mao understood the conversation clearly. He hurried back to the classroom to report to the school bully. Excitedly, he opened the door and shouted, Shiji, Shiji! The transfer student told the teacher that he still wants to sit at your table. Then he began to passionately recount. Mr. Ban said, if you're sitting at the same table with him, I still recommend that you sit alone. But Xiaoko was very determined. I just want to sit there. Fu Yangxi has good English and is a good person. Fu Yangxi pretended to be angry. He picked up the book and gave him a head plant. Can't pretend for more than 3 seconds. He can't help but the corners of his mouth rise. Thought the little mask had given up on him. Didn't expect her to secretly go find the homeroom teacher. What should he do with such a clingy person in the future? At this moment, the homeroom teacher sternly warned him to quickly have someone move Zhao Mingxi's desk back. In the future, no bullying of transfer students is allowed. The younger ones dared not approach the school bully, staring at his angry face. Fu Yangxi, however, was speechless. What are these guys up to? How come they're not even listening to the homeroom teacher, even though the homeroom teacher has urged them repeatedly? Still, no one dares to move. Fu Yangxi had to reluctantly speak up. Give the class teacher some face, then move it back. When he heard this, Xiao Huangmao quickly asked the little brothers to come forward and help Little Mask move the table back. Zhao Mingxi, who sat back beside the school bully, was already plotting at this point how to accidentally make physical contact with the school bully. While observing the bully sleeping soundly, Zhao Mingxi wondered if it would be okay to secretly touch it. But her hand stopped at the ear of the school bully. Why is your ear so red? Could it be because of something I said? She quickly withdrew her hand, took out a pen and wrote a note, shifting the blame to the class teacher for moving back and being his desk mate. After all, she couldn't let the school bully dislike her because of this. Otherwise, how could she continue to benefit from his influence in the future? Then she pushed the note over. And the school bully, pretending to sleep next to her, hesitated. If I keep sleeping, she won't have a chance to talk to me. Should I sit up then? Fu Yangxi opened her eyes and saw the note on the table. Didn't expect Little Mask to be so eager to leave me a note. Sure enough, I'm irresistible. As he picks up the note. This little liar. Clearly, he took the initiative to ask the teacher to switch seats. I can't believe you just said that. But I understand. A young girl's crush can never be too direct, right? So he covered his mouth as it began to curl into a smile. Pretending to be deep, he made a few strokes on the paper. Then he squeezed it into a ball and threw it at Zhao Mingxi. But the paper ball didn't listen and bounced to the corner of the table. Fu Yangxi panicked. If caught by the headmaster, they would be in trouble. He immediately reached out to retrieve the paper ball. Took a quick glance at the details. This is a great opportunity. I wonder how many seedlings can grow from touching fingers. So, she seized the opportunity to stretch her hand out as well. As expected, their fingers touched each other. The school bully blushed, and his heart raced as he was teased. Quickly withdrawing his hand in embarrassment, he asked angrily, What are you doing? Mingxi quickly apologized, then unfolded the note to take a look. Just wrote 2 words arrogantly on it. Casually, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that although the school bully is unwilling, he does not intend to argue with her. At this moment, she looked up, and was surprised to find 5 tender shoots had unexpectedly sprouted in the air-purifying potted plant. She never thought that just a touch would lead to so much growth. If she could touch everyone in the list one by one, that would make a fortune. Meanwhile, the clueless lackey school bully is peeking at her from behind a book. He just got her hand. Does a little mask really make you so happy? How should I deal with someone so clingy? A few days later, Zhao Mingxi, taking the opportunity to hand out homework, re-established contact with many classmates. Although there is only a tender sprout, she is pleasantly surprised to find that the scars on her face have faded a lot. She is also very gratified. At this rate, when she grows 20 sprouts, she won't have to wear a mask anymore. Fu Yangxi noticed all these little actions of hers. Xiao Huangmao also leaned in and started gossiping. This transfer student is pretty pitiful. I wasn't that good looking to begin with. I heard she also got her face injured last year. Recently, Her younger sister Zhao Yuan got the highest number of votes in the campus beauty pageant. I guess she must be feeling a bit insecure. At the mention of this, the school bully is not happy. Xiao Huamao quickly tries to make up for it when he sees the situation, but the transfer student has a good personality. She even brings us cookies every day. Everyone likes her. The school bully immediately realized something was wrong. He thought it was her breakfast. Afraid she wouldn't have enough to eat, so he was refused every time. Didn't expect her to turn around and give it to someone else, so he looked coldly at the little yellow-haired guy. Quickly tell me, who did you give the biscuits to? Little yellow-haired guy immediately explains. It's just a few small group leaders. New transfer students had just arrived. Maybe he just wants to blend in as soon as possible. The school bully has a change of heart. Indeed. Turns out the little guy with the mask is quite socially adept. It's a good opportunity for us to learn from each other. It seems that the future relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law is something I don't have to worry about at all. Very soon, the school beauty pageant became a hot topic in the school. And Zhao Yuan, the female lead, became the focus. Undoubtedly, it has the highest number of votes this year, so soon someone shifted their focus to Mingxi. With ill intentions, they said to her, "Your younger sister is good-looking and does well academically. I imagine you aren't too far behind. Can you take off your mask so we can see? Yeah, we don't even know what you look like." Mingxi couldn't be bothered to deal with them. Before she could speak, suddenly a pencil case flew in front of her. Go straight for the person who can't keep his mouth shut. The school bully stared coldly at him. Do you think you're invincible? Enough with your nonsense. The two of them were immediately scared into silence. Mingxi looked at him. The school bully blushed but remained proud. Stop thinking nonsense. I'm not helping you again. They're bothering me. Mingxi couldn't help but laugh. Thanks. The school bully quickly blushed and bent down. I already said I'm not helping you. Mingxi knew that although this person spoke harshly, but it doesn't seem difficult to get along with. Fu Yangxi then looked at her with the corner of his eye, although Zyakumask didn't show it. But just now what those people said, she should still care about it. Maybe she was holding back tears, but feeling really wronged inside. But I've never comforted anyone before. The more he thought about it, the more agitated he became. Finally, he cleared his throat and spoke. Hey, do you think I'm handsome? Zhao Mingxi was speechless. Is this self-obsessed vanity acting up again? Then she carefully scrutinized the school bully. But this prince is indeed impeccably handsome. So she cooperatively and honestly responds. He is really good-looking. The school bully confidently snorts. Then just leave it at that, because I am handsome myself. So when I date a girl, he suddenly paused. Girlfriend. And continued. When I make friends and recognize younger brothers, I don't care about the appearance of the other person. Anyway, no matter how good-looking, it's not as good-looking as me. Feeling pleased with oneself. So you can rest assured. I don't care about your beauty or ugliness. Zhao Mingxi was instantly speechless by his remarks. Thank you very much. You comforted me really well. Don't do it next time. Good night. Mingxi was bored and opened the forum for the campus beauty pageant. What he saw scared him. Didn't expect to be shortlisted myself, even though it's only 45 votes, but I never thought a photo with a mask could be in the running. Maybe it's some trickery by the pink-haired green tea group. Oh well, she couldn't be bothered either. Better to hitch a ride on the tide of luck. Meanwhile, the school bully is busy squeezing a few henchmen to the point of getting panda eyes, frantically voting for the little face masks. Several people are complaining. What can the school bully do when he is in love? He can only spoil her. The next day, Shun Liao heard that Zhao Mingxi, selected as one of the top 20 candidates for the school beauty pageant. He took out his phone and checked the forum. Recalling the scene when he first met her 2 years ago, she was indeed so beautiful that one couldn't look away, even though she pestered him every day. But it cannot be denied that she did make an effort. So, silently, he cast a vote for Mingxi. Suddenly, someone called out to him from behind. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Could it be Mingxi? He turned around to find a sophomore girl from 2nd grade. He left without saying a word. He felt inexplicably agitated. He hadn't seen Zhao Mingxi for a week. Is she deliberately avoiding me? But what could be the reason? I didn't expect that the scene just now was all seen by the Green Tea sisters. Yuan, are you saying the campus heartthrob might be interested in Zhao Mingxi? Xiao Zilian remained silent. Then, as if suddenly realizing something, incredulously asked. I heard she's also participating in the campus bell competition. The awkward explanation of the pink-haired girl. She only has over 500 votes. She won't be able to catch up. Moreover, Yuning just sent me a message saying that she's planning to prepare a gift for you secretly. Xiao Beilian tugged at the corner of her mouth. Her complexion softened quite a bit. Tell him to send whatever he wants. I don't need anything anyway. Saying this, she turned and bid farewell to everyone. I have to go. Big brother is here to pick me up. See you next week. While the other big brother and the fool, little brother arrived at Mingxi's class first. When they saw the two of them, Mingxi impatiently asked, How did you come here? Big brother couldn't believe it. After not seeing each other for more than 10 days, Mingxi not only was not sad, he even felt much happier. So he eagerly said, Bro, I'll take you to have hot pot. We can talk while we walk. Mingxi looked very bored and replied, I don't like eating hot pot. That's what Zhao Yuan likes. Big brother felt awkward and didn't know what to do. Then let's eat something else. Next week, we'll celebrate Mom and Yuan's birthday. Will you come back? Mingxi glanced at his silly younger brother. It seems that you did not convey my message. Elder brother inquiringly. What message? The foolish little brother was dumbfounded by the question. Mingxi then took out a family photo from his bag and crushed it in front of his big brother, throwing it into the trash can. Then, firmly stated, Now I don't have anything of yours on me anymore. Big brother frowned in disbelief. Is that why you threw away the family portrait? What are we to you in your eyes? Mingxi said coldly. Isn't it just a copied photo? What for? Big brother suddenly felt that this sentence seemed familiar. He suddenly remembered. When Mingxi had just returned home not long ago, her photo with her grandmother was missing. Anxiously asking him for help, he also said the same to Mingxi. Thinking of this, he was speechless. The silly little brother panicked instantly. What should we do now, big brother? But he questioned him. What did Mingxi ask you to convey? Stupid little brother stammered. She wants to completely sever ties with us. Why didn't you say so earlier? You go back first. I'll talk to her again. Just now, everything was seen by the school bully nearby. Fu Yangxi angrily asked Xiao Huangmao. Who are those two idiots? Xiao Huangmao grabbed him. Shiga. Let's not meddle in other people's business, okay? Fu Yangxi recalled just now. The things everyone was discussing in the classroom. Could it be because someone at home also favors that Zhao Yuan? And thinks it's impressive for her to be the school beauty? Little Mask doesn't care about that Zhao Yuan at all. Little Yellow Hair just echoes along. That's right, that's right. The more he thinks, the angrier he gets. He picks up an innocent basketball, and is about to smash it over those two people's heads. Xiao Huangmao hugs him tightly. Shiga. That's where the family of Zayakuzo lives. It's not appropriate for you to do this. The school bully thought for a moment. He is my little brave warrior. It's not suitable for me to smash it, so I pass the basketball to the little yellow-haired guy. You do it. The little yellow-haired guy grumbled in a big language, but still obediently followed suit. Pick up the basketball and smash it towards the silly little brother. The little brother turns around to scold. Xiao Huangmao directly ignores him and bumps into his shoulder. Jia's little brother is furious and curses loudly. Do you high school seniors have any manners? This speech makes the school bully can't help but mock. You guys treat my little Mask differently? And now you have the nerve to talk about manners. On the other hand, Big Brother arrives at Mingxi's dormitory, after being questioned by the dormitory aunt. This Big Brother actually didn't know where he was living, and unsurprisingly was chased out by the dormitory aunt with a broom. Only then did he realize how much he unexpectedly owed Mingxi. During dinner, Mom asked Big Brother why he didn't go to school to pick up Mingxi today. Big Brother could only say that Mingxi was preparing for the inter-school competition. He used this as an excuse to dodge the issue. Mom was very puzzled. I didn't expect Mingxi to participate as well. Xiao Beilian is confident that her results can surpass Mingxi's, so she pretended to care and said, Last year, I only made it to the finals. With Mingxi's results, it's very difficult to qualify for the competition. Mom, do you want to help her with the makeup first? Even after getting ready, don't forget to cue the silly younger brother. What do you say, Yuning? Yuning, who's been eating all day, responds irritably, not knowing what to do. Xiao Zilian's teeth were almost shattered by this joke. She turned around to please her mother. Let me give you a massage after dinner. Little did she know that her mother also looked disgusted. When it comes to massage, it has to be Mingxi. Upon hearing this, Xiao Zilian's face stiffened. Why is everyone so concerned about Mingxi? And no one cares about me. Instead, nobody cares about me? The love-struck bully originally wanted to buy a piece of clothing for the girl, but ended up accidentally clearing out the entire clothing store. So little heroes were seen in the daytime, after treating the little masks differently. The school bully has been very worried. No wonder she has been wearing her school uniform these days. I'm afraid she has cut ties with her family. I don't have any decent clothes to wear. Xiao Huangmao is completely confused. Shiji, who are you talking about? Fu Yangshi pretended to raise his eyebrows in deep thought. Who else could it be? It's that crazy fan who's stalking Fu Yangshi, showing off like she's all that. Not only did she finish my homework for me this morning, she was even happy about it. So I'm not returning something to her. Doesn't it make me look very impolite? Kuchunwen rolls his eyes. You've been impolite many times. What's one more time? In the blink of an eye, the school bully arrived at his own clothing store. He casually pointed his hand. Don't want this and this, wrap up the rest for me. Little Huangmao was speechless. Shiji, how are you going to share all of this with her? Fu Yangshi has already planned it out. It's when we go to the library at night to give it to her. Then start explaining to Xiao Huangmao. I'll go home for a while. Can you help me take the stuff over? We'll meet at the library. The always obedient little yellow hair naturally refused decisively. Because just now at the library entrance, he accidentally saw Zayakuzo and Xiao Xiao together. But now he can't tell this love-crazy girl. So he quickly changed the subject. Shiji, I think we should just buy something randomly. The school bully looked smug. Of course, are you expecting me to prepare carefully for her? So the school bully casually bought some lovey-dovey stuff and accidentally emptied the clothing store. Little Huangmao is too weak to comment. Is this guy misunderstanding any two random words? Just as they were frantically shopping, the shop assistant lady brought out the treasure of the store. A pink, sexy nightgown inquired. Would sir need this? Fu Yangshi immediately exploded in anger, shamefully demanding. Do I look like the kind of person who would buy this? The shop assistant quickly apologizes upon hearing this. I'm sorry, I'll take them away now. But the next second, she is stopped by the bully. Wait, then just take two randomly. After all, Xiaoko seems to be poor recently. I don't know if she can afford these things. He took the pajamas cautiously, carefully put it in the suitcase. Then asked Miss to record the money in Jiang Zayukyu's account. Crime scene. The store attendant young lady with an anti-smile. The young master in love is simply too cute. After the two of them came out, Xiao Huangmao looked worried. Shiga, she's hitting on you, but you're not hitting on her. Why did you buy so many things? Fu Yangshi blushed and explained. Who said I wanted to hit on her? Isn't this a matter of give and take? Then he walked into the mall again. Little Yellow Hair glared at him, wishing he could change his ways. Look at how worthless you are. A moment later, Fu Yangshi struggled to pull out a comforter. Kuchungwen was speechless. How am I supposed to say all this? You're so stupid. Just say you won it in a raffle. Then he got on the bus and left. Kuchungwen stood awkwardly in place. He didn't even have a chance to refuse. Meanwhile, in the library, Mingxi was still diligently preparing for the inter-school competition. Suddenly, the seat opposite her was pulled open. It turned out to be the school grass Shenliyao. Mingxi blurted out in surprise. How come you're here? Annoyed, Shenliyao responded. Why can't I be here? Is the library yours? Mingxi is a bit inexplicable. Did I offend you? Why are you so aggressive? Shenliyao stared at Fu Yangshi's workbook and asked. Why did he ask you to do his homework? Why not take the opportunity to capture the qi and review at the same time? Why not kill two birds with one stone? However, Mingxi couldn't be bothered to explain. Just tell him. I am willing. Shenliyao was puzzled. Why she would rather provoke the school bully than appear in front of himself. Then questioned her. Have you had enough of causing trouble? Mingxi thought he was referring to the dormitory issue. So she spoke up. Yaoshin, we've only known each other for 2 years. You have no right to advise me. Shenliyao gritted his teeth and stared at Mingxi, questioning. Only known each other for 2 years? Liking. Mingxi immediately packed up and got up. Sorry for disturbing you earlier. It won't happen again. Then she turned and left after taking off her coat, leaving the campus hunk incredulously stunned in place, clenching his fist. Meanwhile, Kuchungwen, outside the window, couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat as he looked at all this. Oh my God! Yaoshin is still there. If Shiga sees him, it'll be over. Unfortunately. At this moment, Fu Yangshi has already arrived behind him, and tapped him on the shoulder. Why haven't you gone in yet? Kuchungwen felt like his breath was about to stop. When I turned around, I unexpectedly noticed that the school bully's hand seemed to be injured. Shiga, what happened to your hand? Fu Yangshi didn't take it seriously. It's nothing. I just accidentally scratched it. Let's go in. Kuchingwen wanted to delay again. But Fu Yangshi had already turned her head and walked into the library. After going in, Shioko found that the mask had been moved. Kuchingwen finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fu Yangshi sat directly across from Mingxi. Kuchingwen quickly pushed the box forward upon seeing this. These are the prizes I won with Shiji at the internet cafe. But it seems like they are all girls' things. We don't need it either. So I'll give it to you. Mingxi is very different. So many things are for me. Fu Yangshi explained quickly. Don't think too much, we're just helping each other as classmates. But the unspoken message is, even though I gave you something, it doesn't mean you've won me over. Mingxi glanced at the down comforter beside her. There's no way these items win any prizes. Most likely they were bought on purpose. Although she didn't understand why the school bully would do this, there was still a hint of warmth in her heart. Turned around and gave Fu Yangshi a sweet smile. Thank you? Fu Yangshi broke character in a split second. His ears turned bright red in an instant, but he still pretended to be tough. I said I won the prize? Thank yous? Suddenly he noticed Shin Liao behind the little mask. Why is it him again? Why do you keep staring at my little mask? The two of them stared at each other for 6.18 seconds. Shin Liao disdainfully turned away. Fu Yangshi watched his back. Jealously, she asked Mingxi. Who is that? You guys have a pretty good relationship, huh? Mingxi was puzzled. How can everything suddenly bring up Yaoshin? But she truthfully answered. Usually, just knowing each other. Fu Yangshi raised an eyebrow, looking at people with a keen eye. Is he good at studying? Upon hearing this, Mingxi instantly tensed. Could the school bully be trying to get someone else to do his homework? Absolutely not, so he pitifully pleads. Fu Xiao, let me help you write it. Okay, why go to such lengths? The school bully was instantly stunned. Could he be jealous? So he shyly waved his hand. All right, don't let others write. He wanted to continue speaking, but was interrupted by Mingxi. By the way, have you all bought it? Oh no, what have you all contracted? Even the primitive Kuchingwen didn't think much. And just opened the box directly. Come take a look, Zayakuzo. Who would have thought that she was slapped back by the school bully? Wait and see when she gets back. The conversation isn't over yet. That silky pink camisole just slid out. Mingxi looked disdainful. Is this also a winning prize? The school bully suddenly stuffed the pajamas into Kuchingwen's arms. What is this? How did it end up in the box? Kuchingwen looked embarrassed. Shiga, you can't forget your principles because of a beautiful woman, but Fuyang she doesn't give him any chance. She secretly waved her hand, signaling him to leave quickly. He looked disheartened as he stuffed his pajamas into his pocket. Yes, this is mine. What's in the box is Shiga's. Pang Mingxi couldn't help but sneer. You're a guy and you're buying this kind of stuff? Guhan Fu Yangshi was so embarrassed and furious that he wanted to swear. Do you think I want to buy? No, I don't, just want to pick. At this point, my stomach also shamelessly growled. Mingxi thought. Could it be because he's been out shopping for so long without eating? So I urged him to. And then. Teed quickly. Even the school bully obediently sat down. When I opened the takeout, I found out that his favorite shiitake mushrooms were unexpectedly placed on the beef with coriander on top. He frowned in disappointment, thinking of rushing home tonight. But my mom didn't even look at me. She ordered takeout casually, and took Fu Zi to Grandpa's without even lifting her head. It's rare for her to come back to the country, but she didn't come to see me at all. Mingxi's eyes lit up beside her. Fu Xiao, let me help you pick the parsley. As she spoke, she picked up the lunchbox and carefully began to pick. Fu Yangshi lowered her eyes and watched. She could find joy in such a troublesome task. So it turns out that Zayakuzo really likes herself, while Mingxi only sees atmospheric luck in her eyes. How much atmospheric luck does one need to live so delicately? But this scene was seen by the astute Shin Liao in reverse. He doesn't believe that Mingxi has really fallen for the school bully. I just felt that she was still sulking with the Zhao family and herself. Before leaving, he placed the well-organized notes, for the 100 School League, on the front desk to be handed over to Mingxi. He thought that when she calmed down, she should still chase after him as before. Fu Yangshi on the other side was still doting on the little mask. Finally, Mingxi picked out the cilantro. In the moment of handing it over, 3 tender shoots surprisingly sprouted from the air-potted plant. Fu Yangshi, halfway through eating, suddenly received a message from Jiang Xiuqiu. Jiang Xiuqiu angrily questioned him. What the hell did you buy with my credit card? People who don't know might think I have a fetish for cross-dressing, Fu Yangshi explained. Fu Zi is returning to China. It's inconvenient to use her own card in this busy season. We can make it up to him later. Jiang Xiuqiu looks disdainful. Is it you pursuing her or the other way around? Don't gamble away your last pair of underwear. Fu Yangshi looks so proud and arrogant. What is she afraid of? She's not after my money anyway. Jiang Xiuqiu doesn't take it to heart. What if you're setting a long line to catch a big fish, and aiming for your Fu family's fortune? He abruptly stopped here. Jiang Xiuqiu is still earnestly advising. What if the one being raised by your mother as her own son, Fu Zi, my cousin, is the heir to the Fu group? Is that small mask for you? Is it to get close to you or to get close to Fu Zi? And I've never seen someone pursuing you from childhood to adulthood. So why is she so special? Fu Yangshi stared at the screen, feeling that his words were very harsh. He angrily put down his phone, anxiously scratching his hair. Then subconsciously raised his head to look at Mingxi. If it were when he had just met Little Mask, he would have let it go, but now he is deeply trapped and cannot extricate himself, so he is afraid that what Jiang Xiuqiu said is true. Feeling Mingxi's gaze, she looked up inquiringly. Why are you staring at me? Fu Yangshi quickly panicked and picked up the lunchbox. I'm done eating. It's 10 o'clock, aren't you going back to the dorm? At this moment, Kuchingwen suddenly appeared. Yeah. The suitcase is too heavy, let us help you move back. Fu Yangshi gestured to him with her eyes, meaning to ask how come you're back. Kuchingwen was furious. You can't expect me to take this sexy nightdress back home. Fu Yangshi suddenly felt guilty, reluctantly said, All right, then please help bring the luggage back. In the moment of getting up, intentionally put down the phone, and deliberately revealed to Mingxi that Fu Zi is the heir to the family estate, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Mingxi was stunned for a second when she saw the message on the screen. Fu Yangshi hurriedly urged. What's wrong? Although Mingxi said it's nothing. His brain is racing at high speed, guessing that just now, he was full of black lines. Is it because Fu Zi stole his heir's identity? I just realized. The three big brothers are actually in a competitive relationship. After careful consideration, and since the family property is not going to be divided to me, there's no need to focus on Fu Zi, offended the top student. Suddenly, she noticed that the bully's hand seemed to be injured. Another chance to show off. So she made them wait for her. Then hurried off. Kuchingwen was very puzzled. What happened to her? Fu Yangshi sat back in her seat with a cold face. Let's just wait and see. Soon, 10 minutes passed, and Shangda, Kuchingwen couldn't help but ask. Shiji, maybe she's just too shy to ask for something, and is making an excuse to slip away, Fu Yangshi thought. Really gone. But not because of the thing. Maybe just because I'm not the heir of the Fu family. Forget it, let's go. He got up looking unhappy. Although he was mentally prepared. But he didn't expect her to be so direct. Looking at the low-spirited Fu Yangshi, Kuchingwen was also very puzzled. What's wrong, Shiga? At this moment, Fu Yangshi is feeling extremely heartbroken, regretting not throwing her out when he first approached Mingxi. Didn't grab her collar and throw her out. Suddenly, a voice behind him called him. He nervously turned around, and saw Zayakuzo panting on the steps. I told you to wait for me, didn't I? It's only been 10 minutes. How come you've left? Fu Yangshi was so nervous that he was about to explode. I thought you weren't coming back. Mingxi grabbed him and sat him down on the steps. Your wound is a bit long. If you don't treat it promptly, it will get infected. Fu Yangshi hesitated to speak. Was about to say something but got interrupted by him. Mingxi looked puzzled as she held a cotton swab. Thought what? Fu Yangshi smirked. I was just testing the waters. She just likes me, the IMA person, then narcissistically said to Mingxi. So you hurriedly went specially to buy this for me. Mingxi was speechless. Pulled his hand over. School bully is surprised. Is it appropriate for a woman like you to be pulling and dragging? Mingxi doesn't even lift her head. I'll apply the medicine for you. If you don't want it, forget it. He shyly reached out his hand. Still self-hypnotizing. It seems that little mask really likes me. While Zhao Mingxi treated it very seriously. Such a deep wound. Soon, Mingxi picked up her head and looked at him. In a while, Mingxi looked at him. It's wrapped. In that split second of eye contact, I just felt that the school bully in front of me looks really good. Fu Yangshi was at a loss from being stared at by her. Their faces were too close to each other. Hey, have you forgotten that there's a third wheel behind you? Soon, the two of them sent Mingxi back to the dormitory. Fu Yangshi is showing off to Xiao Wangniu. I personally escorted her back to the dormitory today. She must be very happy. Kuching Wen can't be bothered with him. Ah yes, spy, what Shiji said is all right. Then he took out his phone and called Jiang Xiuqiu, boastfully saying, "We'll have it out next time. If you badmouth Little Mask, I'll turn against you." Jiang Xiuqiu on the other end couldn't hold back. But she's not after money in the Fu family. Then what is she after? Fu Yangshi looked at the band-aid on his hand and confidently said, "Of course, she's after me." He was so happy at that moment, he was flying. Even the little yellow fur ball beside is speechless. This damn love brain. But the school bully secretly resolves, since she only cares about me, I have to treat her even better. The girl just helped the school bully apply some medicine. As a result, the school bully decided to be good to her for the rest of his life. But at this moment, the girl just wanted to borrow some of his luck. Just because during the process of applying the medicine, she touched the school bully's fingers 250 times, her lucky grass also grew to 38 stalks in one go. She happily looked at herself in the mirror. Sure enough, the burn on her face had completely disappeared. Then she opened the box and looked at the things the school bully had given her. Besides clothes and shoes, a bunch of daily necessities were also stuffed in. It seems unlikely that she'll return it, so she quickly calculated. The total should be around 70,000 yuan. I can only work hard to earn money, to buy back the things for the school bully. I also replied to the job post I found earlier for her, inviting her for an interview tomorrow afternoon. She was so happy. Is this the good luck brought by the reversal of fortune? So the next day, Mingxi got up early and prepared to go out. As a precaution, she planned to wear a mask for a few days. Soon she arrived at a remote alley. Politely knocked on the door. The one who opened the door was a silver-haired old man. Relying on memories from her previous life, she knew this was the esteemed professor from the school. The professor also recognized her as a student from his school. Mingxi said she also worked while studying. I didn't expect it would be you. Professor Gao didn't inquire much either. He brought her in to ask a few questions. After Mingxi saw the kids in the yard, I only just realized why this gold medalist professor resigned early in his past life. It's truly difficult for an old man to take care of a child with autism. Professor Gao looks very serious. This job is not easy. If you're not comfortable, you can leave now. Mingxi remained calm and said he could handle it. So the two entered the room. In fact, he just wanted to help his autistic grandson just find someone to do math problems with him. Only in this way can he immerse himself in his own world. Professor Gao looked at Mingxi's paper. Although he thinks very quickly, but too many steps make the logic seem unclear. Then ask her. Once a week on Sundays. Is 200 each time alright? It's not a lot of money, but you can ask me anytime if you have any questions. Mingxi immediately lit up with excitement, indicating no problem. A job that not only makes money but also improves performance. Where to find such a good job? In the evening, Mingxi went to the library. After receiving guidance from Professor Gao, she finally gained confidence in the 100 Schools League. Fu Yangshi saw Xiao Kochao from a distance. He planned to tell her the little surprise of the school flower selection. Thanks to the unrelenting efforts of his brothers, Mingxi has already ranked 20th in the school flower selection. It's cute to see Little Mask studying so seriously. But it seems pointless to say it out loud. At this moment, little brother sent a message. Shiga, shall we stop investing? Fu Yangshi stole a glance at Little Mask. What if my first creation gets discovered by someone else, and they get credit for her glowing skin and long lashes? If my dessert tastes good and she competes with me, what should I do? I just want to keep her to myself and enjoy her, that's all. I didn't expect the school bully to gaze at Zhao Mingxi with infatuation, while the one hiding in the corner, Yixiaxia, witnessed it all. She doesn't understand why everyone is around Zhao Mingxi. She clearly knew the school grass first. But the school grass only has Zhao Mingxi in his eyes. She even won the school flower selection. Wearing a mask, she made it to 20th place. But then, she suddenly had an idea. So, she called in some internet water army, deciding to get Mingxi voted as the second place in the campus flower selection. Then, she would have to take off her mask. Let everyone see her ugly appearance under the mask. In this way, under the manipulation of the pink hair and green tea, Mingxi quickly jumped from 20th place to become the second only to Xiao Bailian, the female lead. Even the next day, Yi Xiaohua was still instigating the class. Let's go to the international class together, and see the real side of the school's second beauty. Mingxi has no idea about this. She just feels that as soon as she enters the teaching building, everyone's eyes looking at her are strange. Until she entered the classroom, Kellen, when behind her, reminded her. The transfer student, take a look at the school flower forum. Only after opening the phone did she realize that she had unexpectedly been voted as the second school flower, just as Mingxi was puzzled by the forum. The entrance of the classroom has already been crammed with spectators, creating a huge commotion. The leader, Yi Xiaoxia, mockingly demanded her to take off her mask, wanting everyone to see that the school beauty is actually an ugly duckling. Upon seeing this, Kuchingwen quickly called the school bully. Shiji, come quick, a group of people is blocking the classroom door, demanding the transfer student take off his mask. Before Fu Yangxi exploded, he hung up 1 second earlier, then he yelled outside. Is there no girl in your class? You better get lost. But the corridor was still buzzing with gossip. Xiao Xia confidently declared that Mingxi is an ugly monster. Mingxi angrily got up and walked towards the door. Kuchingwen whispered. Wait a little longer, Shiga is coming. But the next second Mingxi decisively took off the mask and confidently replied to Yi Xiaoxia. If I were an ugly freak, so what are you? Thinking when you see Mingxi's exquisite and charming face. Everyone is shocked and at a loss for words. Yi Xiaoxia is even more in disbelief. Whenever talking about Mingxi with Zhao Yuan, she always lightly tells herself not to say that. It turns out that she has always misunderstood. The people who realized it quickly turned to attack Yi Xiaoxia, the instigator. Hilarious. So she's actually the ugly duckling. How dare she call others ugly? Zhao Yuan, who came to watch the play with her, was also stunned in place. Everyone look at Mingxi, and then look at Zhao Yuan, the school flower. It's not as good as the second one. Yi Xiaoxia also began to blame herself. It's all her fault for insisting on dragging Yuan Yuan along, while Zhao Yuan is forcing a smile. She can't wait to stab Yi Xiaoxia right away. With Yi Xiaoxia becoming the target of public criticism, Xiaoyan hesitated for a moment, then started acting. Xiaoxia, what are you trying to pull? Isn't it enough that you caused my allergy last time? Are you trying to set up Mingxi again? Yi Xiaoxia can't believe it. Her former best friend, who used to be like sisters, is now saying these things in front of everyone. Yet Xiaobilian continues to attack. Just because Mingxi and you both like the school grass? I don't have a friend like you. Mingxi looked at it all lightly. What a self-directed and self-acted drama. The crowd gradually dispersed, but Xioa was caught from behind by Xiao Wangniu. Thinking, what if she slipped away? I wouldn't be able to explain to Shiga later. Why are you running? Isn't this what you wanted to see? Come and take a look. Yi Xiaoxia started to moralize him with a grievance. Don't you have any manners? How could you lay hands on me, a girl? Xiao Huangmao pulled her over in anger. I have no manners. A bystander in the same class couldn't bear to watch, and started pushing and shoving with the hooligan. This incident prompted the 3 long-standing grudges between the classes to erupt into a fight. The corridor was instantly in chaos. The little gang in the scuffle shouted at Mingxi. Quick, sister-in-law, get into the classroom. But at this moment Mingxi was caught in a dilemma like a cream filling in a cookie. She was knocked down by the chaotic crowd without surprise at this time. Suddenly, a big hand appeared behind her and quickly embraced her waist. Her brain instantly spun. Mingxi immediately realized this familiar scent. It's school bully Fu Yangxi. He dragged her into the classroom 720 degrees. He lowered his head and asked with concern, Are you okay? When his gaze fell on the delicate face beneath the small mask, he stood there for a full 30 seconds. This is actually my little mask. Mingxi, who realized it, shyly pushed him away. Thank you. Suddenly, a pot plant suddenly sprouted 10 tender shoots. Mingxi deeply regretted. If only he hadn't let go just now. There is a fierce fight in the corridor now. She suddenly realized that it wasn't the time to regret. So she nervously reminded the school bully. Fu Xiao, it's over. There's a fight outside. But the school bully hadn't yet recovered from her beauty. Of course I knew they were fighting. But my little mask is so pretty, isn't it? Could this person be foolish? So she repeatedly jumped back and forth between slapping him and kicking him. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore and shouted at the school bully, "It's already breaking out outside, hurry and go stop it." Fu Yangshi was scared out of her wits. Suddenly came to her senses and looked outside the door. They really started fighting. He strode out of the classroom and protectively stood in front of Xiao Huangmao. "Let's see who dares to bully our class. Everyone, run away when you see the bully coming." He angrily grabbed the unlucky guy's collar and asked, "Did you just slander my little mask?" The unlucky guy was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. "I'm sorry, I was wrong." But Fu Yanxi simply didn't listen to his explanation, directly throw a punch at him. Mingxi felt speechless. "I told you to stop the fight. But I didn't ask you to join in." The yellow-haired guy on the side comforted, "Don't worry. No one at school can beat my brother Shiga." Zhao Mingxi was very surprised. "Is he really good at fighting?" Little Blondie proudly expressed. "Of course. The Fu family's legal team has never lost a case. Anyone who fights the Fu family's young master will only end up getting beaten. If anyone fights back, they'll be sued till they have nothing left." Mingxi laughed. "That's really proud." Later. Only moments later, the headmaster appeared and separated the two. He was so angry that spit was flying, pointing at the unlucky guy and cursing. "What's so good about following Fu Yangxi? Why do you have to do the same? He plays 5 in a row on a private jet at home. What about you? Unlucky egg is bitter in the heart. The teacher is the one who beat me. What's wrong with being beaten by him? I don't dare to fight back when he hits me, let alone it's you." The head teacher is indeed an experienced yin-yang master. Talking with threats, the school bully is getting annoyed. "Why are you shouting so loudly? What if my little mask hears it?" Unfazed, he warned without fear. "Could you please be quieter?" Next year, the investment in the teaching building suddenly disappeared into thin air. "What should we do?"